both of you, your performances in this film, you had to give so much of yourself. And I'm curious, what was it like for each of you when Sam pulled you aside and said, okay, so we've shot for 2 days, but yeah, I'm not going to use any of that footage.
Listen, I know Sam very, very well. And by the look of his face and Marcel's face, I knew it was coming. So I was not surprised. But you know what?
Both times?
Both times.
Okay.
I could see the stressful looks. But you know what? I think because we all were invested in this in such a huge way and are all so supportive. And this really was a safe space. Like, I think we all knew, and we're so grateful to be there anyway. I'd do it however many times we needed to do it, because I just enjoyed being there with John David and saying what we were saying. And it was a dream for me. So I would do it as many takes as we needed to.
I would say the same thing. It was actually because it was very lengthy, in dialogue. Rhythmically, it benefited us to do it more time. So getting to revisit it with it in my spirit, having done it already, I imagine like being on stage and doing a Broadway play or something. Like the more times you do it, the more confident you are about it, the more discoveries that happen. So yeah, I thought, you have it, you get rid of it at the end of the day because you think you're moving on, because we were shooting other scenes and we go back, but there was something that I can just jump right into it because, a whole bunch of trial and error stuff had happened the day before. So and what Zendaya was saying, I just loved being there. I mean, it was in the middle of a daggone pandemic and we did everything safely and carefully, but yet here we are doing what we love to do, not knowing if I'd ever get to do this again, how it would look. I didn't even know if anybody was going to see this thing, if this even was going to get released or whatever. But you know what? We're doing something that we truly, truly believe in, that is such a unique, twisted love story that I would have done it a whole bunch of times. Yeah.
One of the things in the movie, your characters are checking social media to see, the reviews of the film. And I am curious for each of you, are you checking social media after the world premiere of a movie that you're in? Or do you try to push away from all of that to, you know what I mean? Just ignore.
I like to think that I could push it away, but I'm too nosy. I want to know, but I will say that, I do have to manage it, in the same way you do everything in moderation, so I try to find a balance. I want to see things, but I also don't want to be glued to my phone and having massive anxiety, so there's a way to balance it. And I also think that both of us maybe handle reviews a little bit differently than Malcolm would. So I like to think our response would be a little bit different.
You guys, as I said at the beginning, you have to give so much of yourself, each of you, to this role. What was it like actually at the end of each day? Were you leaving set just absolutely exhausted? Can you each talk about that?
Yeah, exhausted, but yet enthused as well, because it felt like we really made something from the ground up. I know we'd all together walk as a group to the car. Sun was up, because we shot nights. And it just felt like, a victory every morning, which was the end of our day, that we're on to something, that we're chipping away at something that could be super special and extremely special. So it was a beautiful, joyous, victorious kind of feeling that I'll actually always remember those moments every morning, which was the end of our days on that shoot, because it just felt like we were getting closer to our goal.
Some days, like I said, were harder than others, but I was so grateful to be working and to be doing something that I was proud of. And, even some days I'd go home and watch the dailies from the day before and, and go through them just because I was so excited to be there. I mean, you have to understand, we're living in such a difficult time, and there's so many people that were, have been affected this past year. So the fact that we were able to do it safely and take care of our crew that was also with us on Euphoria, I think that was, I was so grateful to be working and to be able to make something that could, positively affect these people that I love and I care about. And so I was probably the opposite of everyone else. I was like, we can keep going, the sun's coming up and I'm like, I feel great. You know what I mean? End of the 14 straight days. And I was like, I could keep going. Everybody's like, I think we're done. You know what I mean? I had a ridiculous amount of energy pent up, So like I said, extremely grateful to be there.
Thank you both so much. Congrats. You're both fantastic in the movie. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you so much. You too.